Hi friends! Welcome to Lua's Story Studio. We're so glad you're here. Today we are reading Guess How Much I Love You by Sam McBratney, illustrated by Anita Jerem. Little Nut Brown Hare, who was going to bed, held on tight to Big Nut Brown Hare's very long ears. He wanted to be sure that Big Nut Brown Hare was listening. "Guess how much I love you," he said. "Oh, I don't think I could guess that," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "This much," said Little Nut Brown Hare, stretching out his arms as wide as they could go. Big Nut Brown Hare had even longer arms. "But I love you this much," he said. That is a lot," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. "I love you as high as I can reach," said Little Nut Brown Hare. "I love you as high as I can reach," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "That is very high," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. "I wish I had arms like that." Then Little Nut Brown Hare had a good idea. He tumbled upside down and reached up the tree trunk with his feet. "I love you all the way up to my toes," he said. "And I love you all the way up to your toes," said Big Nut Brown Hare, swinging him up over his head. "I love you as high as I can hop," laughed Little Nut Brown Hare, bouncing up and down. "But I love you as high as I can hop," smiled Big Nut Brown Hare, and he hopped so high that his ears touched the branches above. "That's good hopping," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. "I wish I could hop like that." "I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river," cried Little Nut Brown Hare. "I love you across the river and over the hills," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "That's very far," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. He was almost too sleepy to think anymore. Then he looked beyond the thorn bushes, out into the big dark night. Nothing could be farther than the sky. "I love you right up to the moon," he said, and closed his eyes. "Oh, that's far," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "That is very, very far." Big Nut Brown Hare settled Little Nut Brown Hare into his bed of leaves. He leaned over and kissed him good night. Then he lay down close by and whispered with a smile, "I love you right up to the moon and back." What a wonderful story that was about the bond between Little Nut Brown Hare and Big Nut Brown Hare. How do you express your love for someone special in your life? Can you think of different ways to show your love and affection, just like Little Nut Brown Hare and Big Nut Brown Hare did? Have you ever felt a love that is so big it feels like it could fill the whole world? How does that make you feel? Love is a powerful force that can bring joy, comfort, and warmth into our lives. It's something to be celebrated and shared with those who we care about. So keep spreading love, just like Little Nut Brown Hare and Big Nut Brown Hare, and cherish the special connections you have with your loved ones. I'm so glad we got to spend time together today. Can't wait to see you next time in the Story Studio. Welcome to Lua's Story Studio. We're so glad you're here. Today, we will be listening to the book In My Heart, A Book of Feelings by Joe Witek. In My Heart, A Book of Feelings by Joe Witek, illustrated by Christine Rousey. My heart is full of feelings. Big feelings and small feelings. Loud feelings and quiet feelings. Quick feelings and slow feelings. My heart is like a house with all these feelings living inside. Sometimes my heart feels like a big yellow star, shiny and bright. I smile from ear to ear and twirl around so fast I feel as if I could take off into the sky. This is when my heart is happy. Other times, my heart feels strong. I stand up tall as if I can touch the clouds. New people and places don't frighten me. I can do it. Watch me go. This is when my heart is brave. When I get really angry, my heart feels as if it's going to explode. Don't come near me. My heart is yelling hot and loud. This is when my heart is mad. Boom! But other times, my heart is cool. I bob along gently like a balloon on a string. My heart feels lazy and slow, as quiet as snowfall. This is when my heart is calm. On harder days, mean words hurt my feelings, and my heart feels hurt too. It's fragile and delicate, but it can be healed with extra kisses. This is when my heart is broken. Some days my heart feels as heavy as an elephant. There's a dark cloud over my head, and tears fall like rain. This is when my heart is sad. But my heart doesn't stay sad. Like springtime after winter, the sun comes out again. My heart grows tall, like a plant reaching toward the sky. This is when my heart is hopeful. Eek! When I see something scary, my heart beats fast. I feel cold, as if a chilly breeze has crawled up my neck, and I run away as fast as I can. This is when my heart is afraid. When it's time for a bit of fun, my heart feels full of giggles and wiggles. Abracadabra! I hop around like a bouncy bunny. This is when my heart is silly. Sometimes I hide my heart away where no one can see, like my own small treasure. I don't want anyone to look at me. Safe on my swing, I can watch the world from up above. This is when my heart is shy. My heart can feel so many feelings, and yours can too. Today, my heart is proud. How does your heart feel? There were so many ways that our main character was feeling, and they used such wonderful describing words to tell us about their heart. How are you and your heart feeling today? What describing words would you use to tell us how you're feeling? Can you draw a picture of how you're feeling? It feels good to identify our feelings and let others know how our hearts are doing. Head over to the Discovery Lab and watch our friends make an I Am journal. Let's see what you can create. Can't wait to see you next time in the Story Studio. Welcome to Lua's Story Studio. Today, we will listen to The Paper Bag Princess by Robert Munsch. In the book, we meet a princess named Elizabeth, who is supposed to marry a prince named Ronald. A dragon comes along and changes things for Elizabeth. Let's find out what she learns during her adventures with the fierce dragon and what happens with her and Prince Ronald. The Paper Bag Princess. Story by Robert Munsch. Art by Michael Marchenko. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forest and horses' bones. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I've already eaten a whole castle today. I'm a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow. He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, Go away! I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow. Wait, shouted Elizabeth. Is it true that you're the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world? Yes, said the dragon. Is it true, said Elizabeth, that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath? Oh, yes, said the dragon. And he took a huge, deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 50 forests. Fantastic, said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests. Magnificent, said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath. But this time, nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. Elizabeth said, Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds? Why, yes, said the dragon, and jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, Fantastic! Do it again! So the dragon jumped up and flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and went straight to sleep. Elizabeth whispered very softly, Hey, dragon! The dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right inside. She shouted as loud as she could, Hey, dragon! The dragon was too tired. He didn't even move. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes, your hair is all tangled, and you're wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you are dressed like a real princess. Ronald, Elizabeth said, your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you're a bum. They didn't get married after all. Wow! Princess Elizabeth was really brave. She went to help a friend and outsmarted a dragon. What a brave, powerful girl she was. What would you do if a dragon came along and did the same thing to your friend? Was Ronald a good friend? Who would you rather be like, Ronald or Elizabeth? He might look all shiny and prince-like, but I don't think I would choose him as a friend either. What do you think? Welcome to Lua's Story Studio. We're so glad you're here. Today we're reading a book, I Think I Am, Teaching Kids the Power of Affirmations by Louise L. Hay and Christina Tracy. Illustrated by Manuela Schwartz. Affirmation. Words that you think or say and believe to be true. Did you know that the things you think and say have the power to make a big difference in your life? When you say something over and over, you start to believe it is true, and what you believe creates what you do and what happens to you. These kinds of thoughts and words are called affirmations. Learning to turn your unhappy, negative thoughts into positive affirmations is a great thing to practice. Here's how it works. Negative thought. Nobody likes me. Change to positive affirmation. I love myself and other people love me too. Equals positive things happen. Hi, want to be friends? The more you can learn to do this, the happier you will be. Keep reading to see more examples of kids turning negative thoughts into positive affirmations. When waiting around is not what you planned, you may start to have negative thoughts. This line is so long, we will never get into the fair. Picture the fun you will have and say, I make today great. Have you ever wished you looked different or more like someone else? You might feel like saying, I don't like my hair. I wish it were like hers. Instead, look in the mirror every day and repeat, I love myself just the way I am. If your friends all want you to go their way, it's easy to think, if I don't do what they want, they will be mad at me. Do what is right for you and tell yourself, I stand up for what is important to me. When you don't want to pay attention, you may believe, this isn't about me, so I don't need to listen. Remember that life has a lot to teach you and think, I love to learn new things. When you are feeling all alone, unhappy thoughts might creep in. Why don't they want to talk to me? Help these feelings go away by telling yourself, I am surrounded by love. If it seems easier to sit back and watch than to help, you may think, I wish someone would help him get on that pony. Change your thoughts and say, I happily help wherever I can. Even though you have many great things in your life, sometimes you'll still wish, I sure would love to have one of those. Pay attention to what's good in your life and say every day, I am grateful for what I have. Have you ever done something that you wish you hadn't? You might get mad at yourself and think, I can't believe I forgot my sweater. I always forget everything. Keep positive and say to yourself, I learn from my mistakes and move on. When it comes to taking care of the world you live in, you could think, who cares? One piece of trash doesn't make a difference. Instead, think, I care for my home, the earth. If people around you have nothing good to say, it can bring you down. It's too crowded. I'm hot. I'm so dizzy. Maybe they are right. Don't let others' moods change yours. Say, I choose to be positive. You might think you are not creative and that other kids have better ideas than you. I can't decorate my bike. This is going to look awful. Don't give up. Say to yourself, I am filled with creative ideas. When you see kids who look or act different from you, you might say to yourself, I hope I don't have to ride with them. Try to look past the differences you see on the outside. Think, I see the best in everyone. Tips for doing affirmations. You can make up your own affirmations for anything you want to change in your life. For example, 1. Always start an affirmation with positive words, such as I can, I am, I do, I have. 2. Say your affirmation over and over whenever you think of it. 3. Say an affirmation especially when you're having a lot of unhappy, negative thoughts. 4. Look in the mirror and say your positive affirmations out loud. 5. Write your affirmations down in a notebook or journal. 6. Make a sign with your positive affirmation and hang it where you can see it every day, like on your mirror or bulletin board. 7. Close your eyes and picture what you want. This is an affirmation. Welcome to Lua's Story Studio. We're so glad you're here. Today, we will hear the book Resilience by Jayneen Sanders. Resilience by Jayneen Sanders. Emmy, it all began when you were small. You did your best and tried to crawl. You slipped, you slid, you fell to the floor. But up you got and tried once more. How old were you when you began to crawl? And then came walking. That was tough. You wibbled, you wobbled, and bumped into stuff. 1 step, 2 steps, you fell to the floor. But up you got and tried once more. On the first day you walked over to me, I held out my arms for you to see. You giggled, you laughed at what you could do. My heart beat fast with pride for you. Why do you think learning to walk is hard for a baby? And do you remember when I taught you to swim? You were frightened and scared, but you bravely got in. You sputtered, you coughed, it was hard for you, but you tried your best. It's what you do. And at long, long last, when you turned 4, you didn't have to try so hard anymore. You swam around just like a fish, faster and faster, swish, swish, swish. Can you swim? What do you remember about learning to swim? Many things were hard for you, like riding a bike and tying your shoes, but you kept trying in different ways. You knew you would get it one of these days. What is something that has been hard for you to learn? I know you remember a very sad day when dear old Sonny passed away. We held each other and cried many tears. How we've missed him over these years. Today we looked at some pictures of Sonny, dressed as Superman. He looked so funny. We giggled and laughed. We hugged and we smiled. We forgot our sadness for a little while. Have you ever felt sad? What or who made you feel sad? Then in roared Sally, running so fast, her ears flapping as she scurried past. She slid, she slipped, she fell to the floor, but up she got and ran some more. Going to school has been hard for you. You've been sad and lonely and bullied too. But you never said, "I'm not going today." You bravely waved and went on your way. What is something very brave that you have done? It took a long time to find your place, with teachers and children and challenges to face. But now in 2nd grade, you've made it through. You're learning and happy in all that you do. What is something you have learned today? You amaze me so much every day. I'm proud of you in so many ways. When things go wrong or troubles start, you bounce right back with all your heart. When do you feel proud of yourself? Only last week, as we sat in the park, the clouds rolled in and the sky grew dark. We hurried home to get out of the rain. You smiled and said, "We can try again." Instead of crying and feeling sad, instead of stomping and getting mad, you put the rug down on the floor and abracadabra, a picnic indoors. If you can't do something, what do you usually do? I love our adventures on warm summer days. We go to the forest. You lead the way. You look under rocks. You listen for birds. You sit in silence. The forest is heard. And once, when a stream blocked our way, you thought it through and saved the day. You said, "This log will go over the ditch," and across we ran without a hitch. Where is your favorite place to go? If something happened and you couldn't go, what might you do instead? You started karate when you were quite small. The other kids seemed incredibly tall. You were knocked, you fell over, you were pushed to the ground, but you always got up. You never stayed down. What is your favorite sport? What was the hardest thing to learn when you first started? Yesterday, I cheered with the biggest of grins as I watched you achieve your very first win. They called out your name. You stood strong. You stood proud as friends and family cheered from the crowd. Who is the person who always cheers for you? How do they make you feel? You're feisty, powerful, brave, and unique. I know you can be whatever you seek. Believe in yourself. Know you are strong. If you ever feel down, don't stay there too long. I love you so much. I'm here for you. I trust you, dear Emmy, in all that you do. You're kind, you're daring, resilient, and smart. A courageous warrior with a beautiful heart. What are some words that tell me about you? Wow, it was impressive to see all the different ways that Emmy was resilient in the story. Think about times when you've been faced with challenges and you were able to be the same way. It takes being brave to try again after something doesn't go so well. The next time you notice yourself being resilient, be proud of your actions and give yourself a pat on the back. Practice with the Femons and add to your tool bag of tricks to help you be brave, strong, and resilient to try again. Can't wait to see you next time in the Story Studio. Welcome to the Story Studio. We're so glad you're here. Today, we will hear the story Your Magical Life, written by Mike Dooley, illustrated by Virginia Allen. Long before there was even sand in the hourglass, there was a teeny tiny dot, so small it was almost invisible, and it was given to you as a gift. At first, puzzled and surprised, you thought it was a joke. Yet, trusting and curious, your intuition led you to accept it, and then to carefully examine it. After becoming very teeny tiny yourself, you were amazed to find an entrance to this little treasure, from which extended a long and winding checkerboard path. Welcome to the jungles of time and space, where nothing is as it seems, yet all things are possible. So inside you went, finding yourself in an ancient grove of bending oak trees under a bright lemon sky, whereupon you came across a sign, and then another, and another, and another. It doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is where you're going. Miracles usually happen before you see them, which means one may have just happened to you. Never give up. It won't matter what others think or say. Your thoughts will become things, and your words will give you wings. Believe in your dreams so that they can come true. Give what you want to receive. Goodbyes are never forever. Ask a lot of questions, okay? It doesn't matter if you get scared. There's still nothing you can't do. Eventually, you came to a large, round stone, and on it was a big, shiny gold key, as if it was put there just for you. You hesitated, but decided that since the dot was given to you, the key was probably yours too. So, picking it up, you continued walking. When you act on your dreams, the whole universe will act too. Visualize the wows, not the hows. Follow your heart and use your head. Think big. Everything begins with an idea. Are you ready for the greatest adventure of all? Are you ready to be you? Don't worry. Be happy. Rounding a corner under a tree, across a stream, and on a great hill, you arrived at a big, locked gate. Your magical life. Be led by joy. Should you ever feel lost or alone, forget not from where you have come, and remember the signs. Looking carefully between the wrought iron bars, you can see the entire Milky Way galaxy and 100 billion galaxies beyond it. Your heart raced. Your imagination ran wild, and you felt a little scared as you raised the key to the steely lock, slowly slipped it in, and gently turned it until you heard a very loud click, followed by a bright flash of light and a blast of trumpets. Whereupon, seemingly light years later, but in fact no longer than an instant, you found yourself living on the most beautiful little planet, having a wonderful life, a wrinkle of curiosity in your brow, reading these very words in this very book, right here and now. Imagination is your key. Wow, you did it! Great job! There was so much to take in and discover along the way in our story. What parts did you enjoy most? We learned about visualizing our dreams and taking action. Did this story inspire you to take action about one of your dreams? Try to visualize yourself already living in one of your dreams. What does it feel like? What do you see? Draw a picture of what you see and put it up somewhere so you can see it and remember the feelings of accomplishing your dream. What action steps can you take to bring you closer to your dream? How amazing you are for all the big ideas and dreams that you have. Can't wait to see you next time in the Story Studio. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please visit our website and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks. See you next time.